Our next question concerns property taxes and the various proposals out there to address them. Most specifically, House Bill 76, which would eliminate property taxes in the Commonwealth. This bill is tremendously popular here in the Poconos because of the crushing property tax burden. You've mentioned opponents, on the other hand, are concerned about the legislation, fearing that it would centralize education funding decision-making in Harrisburg and limit the payments of taxes by property taxes by businesses, passing that on to residents through sales and income taxes. So given these competing concerns, do you support the elimination of property taxes in the Commonwealth? And if you were elected, would you support such legislation? The question starts with Mr. Parker.
Thank you. Yes, when House Bill 76 was first introduced a few years ago, I was very skeptical of it. As a retailer, I'm basically a tax collector for the state. We collect sales tax, and believe it or not, people don't like to pay that either. So I was skeptical that they'd get the revenue that they thought they would from that bill. And as it turned out, when the bill failed, that's what was discovered. There was a $2 billion shortfall. So the Senate's been working on the bill and addressing those issues, and I'm watching it closely. And if we can address that and get adequate funding, I definitely support it, and we'll vote for that bill. But that's not enough. I was in a meeting last year with several builders and Senator David Argel, who's the author of the bill. And I said to the senator, you know, once this bill passes and we don't have school property taxes anymore, although we still will, we have to cover the debt that we have and service that until that's gone. But we would grow again in the Poconos. We would need more teachers, maybe need more schools. Where are we going to get the extra funding for that? He says it has to come from the funding formula. And so that's why I've been so focused on fixing the funding formula. Now, the Basic Education Funding Commission was just established this year. And I've been to most of the meetings and met with representatives there to make sure they know our concerns here, that we don't get fair funding. We get just a little over 20% of our school budgets from the state. Other districts around the state get 30, 40, 50, some as much as 80% of their budgets. So we need to fix that formula so that as we increase in number, the funding will come, and then we can support the education for our students.
Thank you. Ms. Mack.
Okay, well, for all intents and purposes, HB 76 is dead. We just haven't had a proper funeral for it. Nobody wanted this bill except for the builders and the realtors and a few folks in our county and a couple of other ones. But there are 67 counties in the state of Pennsylvania, and the vast majority of them do not want HB 76. You cannot eliminate property taxes and fund school. They tried to do it in Michigan, they've tried to do it in Kansas, and it really doesn't work. You have to do a variety of things. There is no silver bullet. There is no magic legislation. Budgets are statements of priorities. And what is your priority? Well, your priority, if you're in Harrisburg, should be to fund education at 50%. We are currently being funded at 32%. So if we were funded at 50%, then we would see an 18% property tax reduction. Now, we can't just throw money at education because we've been doing that for decades, maybe even centuries, and it doesn't work. We have to have a dollar-for-dollar cut in the local school boards to match the funding formula. Off the top of my head, I could think maybe if we're in crisis in education, our Pocono Mountain superintendent doesn't need a 5-year, $1 million contract, and all of her assistant superintendents don't need a 30% raise. You know, we have to budget according to what our priorities are, and our priorities should be education. Once you educate people, then everything else takes care of itself, because people become a valuable part of society, they earn money, they contribute, and we're all doing well. But we have a governor who went into office and slashed $1 billion from education, and then gave $2 for every prisoner for every dollar he gave to students. And I teach in this school, and my students know that. And they know that this governor and this Republican legislature has not made them a priority, that their tuition has gone up, that they've lost professors, that they've lost programs, and that the Pashy school system, East Stroudsburg University, which used to be on the very top, is not there anymore. Valuable dollars have been cut, for, research and things that keep us at the top. So we have to do a number of things. We have to fund education.
Thank you very much.
Okay, next.